What's up, boys and girls? This is Spit Logic, and today I want to talk about gear. Specifically, I want to talk about audio gear, the gear that we use to capture our sound. It is the equipment that we use to archive our music and to store it. And I can say that since I've purchased the SP44 Mark II, and since I started doing videos on this channel that are kind of focused on it, my attention has made me a lot more sensitive to other types of gear. And that has kind of branched out to me looking at the kind of audio gear that I have. I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to get rid of some of the audio devices that I have. And some of this I don't really take too lightly, but I feel it's an inevitability just because as you proceed, to doing what you do with music, and music evolves and the gear evolves, you just have to kind of keep up with the times, even though some gear may have a very nostalgic quality to it. So in this video, I'm just going to go over the 5 devices that I use, the 5 types of gear that I use for audio. I'm going to briefly go over them and talk about them. And then I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm going to keep this particular piece of equipment or why I'm going to get rid of it. So let's get started. So the first piece of gear is this bad baby right here. This is the Tascam DP01. This is literally the first piece of audio recording gear that I ever bought. I had this since 2003, 2004. I remember buying this off of eBay and purchasing it from someone. I can't remember exactly where they were from, but I remember explicitly, and it's still on here, there is a song from the previous owner that is on this piece of audio equipment. I still have the original audio on here. 2003, 2004. I mean, we're talking about almost 20 years of using this piece of equipment. And though it's huge, it's big, it's bulky, it has stood the test of time. 20 years is a long time for a piece of equipment. I have used it for when I first started making my own music, making my own beats. I use it a lot when I started creating mixes using my turntables. And even when I started making SP44 videos, some of my videos, I use that to record the audio for the SP44 directly into my audio recorder. So this piece of gear is very nostalgic to me. It's very important to me. It is my first piece of audio equipment. I love the way it sounds. I don't think there is any real degradation of audio quality in it. I think it still works perfectly fine. There are some, since it's older, there are some issues as it relates to modern use of audio. For example, the only way that you can use files between it and the computer is that you have to put it in hard drive mode and you have to transfer those directly to your computer. Again, this is an 8-track recorder, but you can only record 2 tracks at a time. It also has 2 separate mic/line inputs instead of the more traditional combination of the mic and line inputs in there. So, of course, this is just reminiscent of its ancient design, for lack of a better term. I remember looking at that one, and then there was a CD version of this where you could burn your CDs. Part of me wishes that I could have gotten that version of it, but in my head back then, I did not have a lot of money, and that is really all I literally could afford. So this DP01, it is a gem. It is a part of my beat making history, but it is obsolete gear. So this is going to be one piece of equipment that I do plan on getting rid of. The second piece of equipment that I want to talk about, it is the Mackie Onyx producer. This is literally just an audio interface from the analog into your computer. I have only had this gear for maybe about 2 years. It's lightweight, you know, not a lot to it. Of course, you see it has the combination inputs for the line or for the mic. This has been a pretty good piece of equipment for me interfacing with my gear. When I was all about beat making on DAWs, I had another audio interface that I used. That one burnt out on me, but now I utilize this one when I used to put all of my samples into my DAW. So sampling into the DAW, I would use this Onyx for that audio to digital interface. This is a pretty good piece of equipment. I've had a few issues with it as far as the way that Logic Pro interacts with it. There are like 2 different audio drivers, I believe, that are in here, and based on if you use the phantom power or not, it will read it as a separate input, a separate device, and it can be a little tricky or a little bit confusing sometimes. I would say that the biggest downfall to this is that it only serves one purpose. This is purely meant for an audio to computer interaction, and you know, just based on that limitation, it being just kind of a singular piece of equipment, this is definitely one piece of equipment that I'm going to let go, and I'm not going to feel bad about letting this one go in particular. The next piece of gear that I want to talk about is the Tascam DR05. And this is a piece of equipment that I purchased when I first started, you know, seriously considering doing YouTube videos. So I think if you go back on my YouTube channel, outside of the ones that were just regular videos, when I first started actually doing those videos, I was using the DR05. I think maybe 2017 or 2018, and it came with a lavalier mic. I'm actually using it right now, and you can see it right here. This is a very small, lightweight device. It's easy to transport. This doesn't take up a lot of room. It's pretty good on the battery power, and I don't know, I've used it for a while for the lavalier mic input. It does have its own microphone right here that could be used to just capture like ambient type of sounds. I've used it a little bit for that, but really I've used it primarily, almost exclusively, for my voice when I do my YouTube videos. This is a great device. I think it's really good, but moving forward, I am looking for something that will hopefully allow me to record audio, voice audio, in a different way. So I've been looking at some options. Maybe I'll talk about it later when I actually come to a conclusion. But I'm going to hold on to this until I find that separate option that I'm going to use. So this is a keeper for right now. The next piece of gear I want to talk about is the Tape 2 by Reloop. I'm sure you've probably seen a few of my videos where I have used this. You've probably seen it right next to my SP4 IV Mark II. This is a digital recorder. It has a slot for a micro SD card to put in. And I purchased this when I was making mixes. I still make mixes every now and then, but I wanted something quick that I could quickly record a mix in just when I felt like doing it, or record myself just doing scratches with another record or beat on. This is very portable. This is very simple. Aesthetically, I just love the way this thing looks. When you purchase this actually on the package, it actually comes with different stickers that you could put on with different tape faces. The only drawback to this, you know, if I'm comparing it to, say, the DR05, which is another small recorder, this doesn't have any sort of text on it. You have to read the LED lights and understand what the LED lights mean. What a solid light, green light, a blinking light, that is how you understand and know what's going on with it. It can be a little intimidating just because you don't have a screen that says REC on it, or that's blinking, or that tells you, you know, what to do and when to do it. But this is simple. This is quick. This is something I'm definitely going to keep just because I enjoy using it, and I like just the way and the feel of this particular piece of equipment. Now, the last piece of equipment that I want to talk about is my newest addition. And maybe this is primarily the reason why I'm making this video. The Zoom H6. I recently just purchased this, maybe, I don't even know if it's been a month yet. And I love this device. This is actually what has prompted me to look at all my gear and consider selling some of it. Primarily because this Zoom H6 serves a lot of different functions. This is an audio digital interface. So I can connect this directly to my computer, and I can plug in audio and it will record audio directly into it. Specifically, with each of these different inputs is a different track. So I can record up to 4 as it is right now. There is a separate attachment that provides 2 other inputs that could be either a part of the attachment mic that comes with it, or you can purchase an attachment that has the other line mic combo inputs on there for your device. Again, you can record on this. This is a multi-track recorder. You can record all these tracks at the same time, potentially 6 tracks at the same time. It has a lot of options for the audio prior to it going into your system. And then it records your primary audio, but then it also has an underlying piece of audio that it records at a very low rate, just in case you record something with the audio too high. I think this is one of the most smartest devices that I've seen. A lot of beat making YouTubers that I've seen them with something similar to this, either the H6 or the H8, I believe they have. And again, this is a great piece of gear. This is all inclusive. It's also mobile. You could primarily battery power this thing, and it holds that battery life for a pretty long time. It also has, you know, the USB, the micro USB on the side that you can connect it to an actual USB, and you can power it that way as well. Again, this is what's prompted me to get rid of most of my gear. I just got this piece of equipment, and I am looking forward to exploring and using this a lot more. Really, it has prompted me, based on the mic that's come with it, to get more into the kind of ambient environmental soundscapes. And I don't know, maybe I'll share some of that later, but certainly this has renewed my interest in sound. So that's going to essentially do it for this video. I just wanted to kind of give an overview of my usage and my experience with my current audio, and then just some of the decisions that I've made with the purchase of this Zoom H6 and what I want to do with it. But I'd be curious to know from you, what is it that you're looking for as far as an audio interface? What kind of audio recording do you perform? Is it all based on your computer, based on some sort of interface, or is there a certain type of gear that you actually use to record? Or do you use the SP4 Mark II for it? I mean, that one is also a digital recorder, a mobile studio, and it's also a computer interface. So I'd be curious to know just how your audio gear is set up and what you do as far as recording those sounds and that music. So again, I want to thank you for the view. Thank you for the listen. And until next time, peace.